Next Friday's meeting at the White House over the fiscal cliff comes as credit rating agency Standard & Poor's put the odds of going over that cliff before the end of the year at 15%. Beth Ann Bovino, senior economist at Standard & Poor's, joins us tonight from the NASDAQ. Beth Ann, did you hear anything today from either the president or the House Speaker that gives you more or less hope about a deal before the end of the year?
Well, it sounded that both the president and Boehner seemed to be a little bit more interested in working together. Now, again, this is just one day after the election, so let's see if that holds up. It did look like there was a few olive branches out there, but we'll see if it continues.
Essentially putting the odds 1 in 7, 1 in 8 that we could still go over the cliff before the end of the year. Do you agree with the Congressional Budget Office that that would plunge the U.S. economy into recession and an unemployment rate back over 9%?
I'm about in agreement with them. I think there's a few details I'm looking for. I look for the Bush tax cuts to expire, the payroll tax holiday to expire, and of course the sequestration to go into effect. That's, to me, that's about a 3% contraction of the fiscal budget, and that would indeed push in my analysis, push the U.S. back into recession. What's
the impact if we go over the cliff, but we're able to pull ourselves back in, say, the first or second week in January? Some are saying there are some odds of that happening. We could go over the cliff to see the threat, but then pull ourselves back. Could there be damage done that's irreversible?
Well, there is. I mean, when you think about it, there is. I mean, the fiscal cliff is sort of a kind of a theoretical thing. The Treasury, as we had seen last year when we dealt with the debt ceiling crisis, the Treasury has moved room to kind of adjust things so that maybe those checks that they can't write or those cuts they make might be at a little later in the next few months. So it gives them a little bit more time. The Bush tax cuts, well, that would happen, but of course things can be grandfathered back in, so that might not have an impact as well. The concern I have is the uncertainty. I see the U.S. economy as really starting to show some signs that it's taking hold. The recovery is starting to get stronger, but this uncertainty by the fiscal cliff is in a sense an anchor that's holding this recovery down, and that's something that's certainly going to weigh on growth.
Just a matter of weeks to go before we get to that cliff. Beth Ann Bovino along with us, senior economist at S&P.